I so called this the other night. As soon as I seen that Katie Joy was posting um, something about Gypsy and the son of Sam Laws, I'm like, why is she talking about this again now? Oh, I think I know why. I bet it's because Gypsy must have done something to piss Katie off. Probably, I don't know, didn't give her credit for being like this awesome human being that Katie thinks that she is. And therefore, Gypsy must go. Anyway, let's go over what exactly has been going on between the two of them, or what kind of fighting is about to start between the two of them. Now, as usual, don't send any hate to anyone involved. Don't, especially to Katie. Don't lay your unrealistic expectations on Katie. Look at this as a way of just observing and reporting, okay? Observe and report on the behavior and then move on. That's what I'm doing. I observe it, I point it out, I speak on it, and then I move on. And really, that's all we can do because nobody owes us anything, not even Katie. So here's a post that Katie put up 13 hours ago. Gypsy Rose Blanchard addressed the onesie that was seen in her closet at Ryan's apartment on a recent episode of her Lifetime show. She claims that she bought the onesie at Walmart because she thought it was cute. She says that she wasn't pregnant at the time. Many skeptics still do not believe that Ken is the father of Gypsy's baby. Gypsy and Ken insist the baby is Ken's and not her strange husband's child. Over the weekend, there has been information provided to me that are making me really start to reevaluate a lot of my thoughts on the situations. I'm working to determine what information is relevant to share in this situation. However, I can say that the information that I was directly provided by Gypsy in May surrounding the circumstances of how she became pregnant are not true. I was provided information that directly contradicts the stories she told me and the one she has told publicly. Okay, so were those two different stories? One she told you and the one she told publicly, or were those the same story? This is a very confusing sentence. I pride myself on being accurate in my reporting. So I feel a responsibility to correct information as I learn new details. You should really feel a responsibility to verify the information you're told to begin with. Gypsy wanted to get pregnant. This pregnancy was definitely not an accident or unexpected in any way. So what? It's her body. If she wants to get pregnant, she can. It's nobody's business. You can have your thoughts on it. You can say, that's fucked up. That's dumb. She's going to regret that. Whatever. That's it. That's where your, I guess, your needed input ends, maybe. I'll share more later. Okay. Someone here writes, appreciate that you are being honest on your re-evaluation, yet your ride or die type posts of Gypsy and her stepmom has made it hard for some to really trust your reporting overall. No shit. It appeared you were being hella manipulated and influenced, and it's a bummer because I originally followed you for other situations and not Gypsy. Really have no interest in her. I don't know, just sharing for whatever this is worth. Your page and your right to post what you want. Best to all. Yep. Katie says, it's Gypsy that I don't trust. I literally just found out this weekend that she lied to me. But when you make these posts say, no, I know this for a fact. This is true. He's wrong. She's right. She has every right to do these things because I know. I had the information. I know the family. When you word it like that, you're not just simply being lied to. You're being a culprit in the lie. So it says, I think we all know Gypsy's pregnancy wasn't accidental. Ken had left her once before and she wanted to lock him down. That doesn't absolve Ken of any responsibility. It takes two to have a baby, but Gypsy knew what she was doing. Well, it's actually not that simple. No, it takes two to make a baby. It is that simple. Gypsy wanted to get pregnant. That has been something she wanted and was adamant to become pregnant. Ken also knew that Gypsy wanted to get pregnant. He was not misled about the fact that she was on a mission to have a baby. No, I think you're right about that. And it doesn't matter if he was misled or not, because he still had a choice and a responsibility to put his sperm somewhere or not. So he knew the risks regardless. I'm with you. Something isn't right with the timing of this pregnancy. It's not the timing that is a contradiction. It's the circumstances regarding how she became pregnant. As far as I understand, and my goodness, this could be a lie too. She conceived at the end of April or early May. I just want to say, I don't think it's all that weird that she bought a jersey for a baby she had yet to conceive. Lots of women do this. I mean, I never did, but I also had my first kid at 20. So, I mean, had I been Gypsy's age and never had a child up to that point, chances are I would have had a couple of things around my house by then. But, it's not at all uncommon. Lots of women do that. Thank you for being honest. Will Gypsy come clean to you? I know it's difficult separating your personal life from your professional life. It's not difficult for her because she doesn't separate the two. I mean, maybe it's difficult to separate the two, sure. But if it's that difficult to where you can't do it, then maybe you should try a different profession. Even if she did come clean at this point, I don't know if she would come up with another lie. Well, of course she will. Because you're not a friend. You're not someone she can confide in. You are a self-titled investigative journalist. Your mission is to obtain the information and put it out there for everyone to know. So you're not someone she would ever confide in. The only confiding she will ever do with you is propaganda she wants to push out there. That's kind of your role in her life, because that's how you set yourself up in her life, as the mouthpiece. So don't be all mad, because that's exactly who you end up being in their life, is the mouthpiece. Totally your call, but these people are trying and misleading you, which in return could damage your reputation. Maybe time to cut ties with Gypsy? It's not all of them that are lying. It's Gypsy that is lying. The family knows that she is lying and will lie to their faces. You don't think the family knew that all along? The family fucking knew that. The family was probably covering for her with you because the family knew exactly what your role was in all their lives. And it was not some trusted confidant or some friend to the stepmother or whatever. You've always been the mouthpiece. You realized that that's all that you are in their lives, is a mouthpiece, and therefore will only be spoken to when it serves their purpose. And now that you've been disappointed, or you didn't get what you wanted out of your relationship with them, in my opinion, you are now going to do everything in your power to make them pay for that. In what world would that have made you a good friend to them? You really should watch the YouTube videos by the account Becca Scoops. So much info about Gypsy and her case that I never knew. Very eye-opening. Katie says, I know the case. I don't need to watch a YouTube channel. I've read the reads, watched the interrogations, trials, etc. Oh, so you knew all of this inside info and behind the scenes info, and you still got duped according to you? And you still didn't realize or know things for this long? Next post from 4 hours ago. The final episode of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's reality show aired tonight, and I'm finally at a point where I am done. I watched the show with my mouth on the floor. I watched her flat out lie to Ryan Anderson, then I continued watching her lie over and over. In May, Gypsy Rose Blanchard called me after I made a post calling out so many issues with her behavior. In our call, she told me a story about her meetup with Ken that left me so upset. Okay, so in May, she told you something that left you so upset. Because that would be news to everyone else. I wonder why it is you didn't feel the need to share that in May. But okay. As you may have seen, Gypsy sent a text message to Ryan with a photo of Ken and her in New Orleans. She told Ryan that they were just friends, but she sent the photo to him to hurt him. I was told about Gypsy sending photos to Ryan. I flat out asked her if she sent Ryan photos. She told me she didn't send the photo. I called her out and told her that she was lying. Then she backtracked and said, oh, I did send Ryan a photo of Ken and me. I only did that because I wanted him to get me on adultery. Then our divorce would be over faster. I told her that was not only cruel to do to Ryan, but also incredibly wrong. I told her that makes it look like she only got with Ken to get back at Ryan and get out of her marriage. In another scene of the episode, Ryan tells her that he has her on adultery. Gypsy says to him, I didn't do anything though. You didn't get me on adultery. Okay. You're still married, right? I mean, if they're still married and she's pregnant with another dude's kid, I think it's safe to say that he's got her on adultery. I have a hard time believing that Ryan would lie about this to producers. Why? I mean, I'm not saying he is. I don't know what it is you're saying here, first of all, for me to give an opinion whether or not he lied. But people lie. Because up until this point, you had every belief that he was full of shit and an abuser and controlling and a narcissist. But now you don't think he would even lie to a producer. Okay. I 100% believe Gypsy would lie to both men about the paternity. Gypsy did want to get pregnant, was trying to get pregnant with Ryan before she left him, according to Ryan. Oh, and last week I was told that Gypsy and Ken are struggling. Things aren't perfect like they seem, and it's not the fairy tale that she thought it would be. Well, I don't think anyone needs to hear that as like some sort of behind the scenes report to realize that that's true, because that's just life. No relationship is nothing is ever the fairy tale you think it is. But why are you putting this out there as though you're happy about this? And it's a big I told you so or something. I mean, that's a very personal and mean-spirited thing to do for someone who's a reporter. Like, these people you report on, they're not your friends. There's a power imbalance within their relationship. They could never be your friends. You can never be their friend. You are always someone who's looking for information to put out to the masses on a very large and public scale. You will never be someone who is trustworthy to them. And they will never confide in you and find you to be someone worthy of trust, because your very existence in their lives is proof that you can't be trusted. And they don't owe you anything. I mean, as someone who's a reporter, you can insist upon the truth, but you have to know that you're not always going to get it. I mean, there's this one anecdote or whatever I heard from someone. I can't remember where I heard it, but they're talking about the role of a reporter, and they're saying you will hear things from both sides. One side will tell you it's raining, the other side will tell you it's not. It's your job to stick your fucking head out the window and see if it's raining. So you can't just simply put out there something out there that you have not verified and speak of it as though it's verified and stand behind it as though you yourself have verified it. And then sit here and get mad because you were lied to. It's your responsibility to suss out the lies, or at the very least, not put your weight behind something you have yet to verify as the truth. Be patient with her. She is emotionally stunted and is very damaged. It will take years for her to find her way. Lying for approval and love is the only thing she knows. I hope she is getting therapy. Katie says, if she's a sociopath, she won't change. If you weren't educated enough to suss out if she were or were not a sociopath in the beginning, you're definitely not educated enough to do it now. You don't know what you're talking about. LOL, you are one to build someone up and then tear them down. No, I'm not one to be lied to and used. You are, okay, just for argument's sake, I'm going to go ahead and give you this credit. You are a fucking reporter. You are exactly the one who is going to be used and should expect to be used and lied to. Because you are the steward. You are the tool, the vehicle in which other people will obtain to get their message out, to get what they want out, and to keep what they want hidden. You are exactly the person in their lives who should entirely, completely expect to be lied to and used. The fact that you think you're not is terrifying. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. That's great. You know whose job it is to give people the benefit of the doubt? Family, friends, loved ones. Not someone who's a reporter. That is, in fact, the one thing you should not fucking do is give someone the benefit of the doubt. I've sat here and taken so much heat because I care about Christy. Nobody cared about Christy, though. Why? So you were using your platform to try to manipulate Christy into having a friendship with you. You were You were lying to the masses about Christy's loved one, about her stepdaughter. You were doing that in hopes of getting a friendship back in return. That is so sad. That is very sad. It's twisted, but it's also sad. I'm not defending the indefensible. Not today, you're not. Because you had been up until this point, and you've been doing it because you thought or believed that there was a chance for a friendship with you and Christy. Something happened though over the past 2 days where you've come to realize that can't be possible, that's not going to happen. So now you're going to take this thing that you were offering to them in exchange for their friendship, and you're going to use it against them. That's, it's there's a very good chance that they kind of sensed something like this when you'd begin with and why they didn't want to be friends. I didn't build anyone up. Gypsy's behavior and lies are on her. Don't gaslight me. No, first of all, please, for the love of God, learn the meaning of gaslight in this sense. Just, oh my God. But I digress. You did build her up. You absolutely built. You put your weight, your platform, everything behind her statements, her claims, and you said that I know this to be true because I know if I talk to the family, this is what they said, this is what's true, this is what I trust and believe. Therefore, you should too. That's exactly what you did. So, if that's not building someone up, I don't know what the fuck is. Her parents and sister are doing a terrible job guiding her. I know she's an adult. Do you though? I don't think you do know. But seriously, Christy had no business communicating with Ken and discussing him with Gypsy when she was happily married to Ryan. Christy's loyalty is to her family, is to Gypsy. It's not to Ryan. Now, she can sit there and say, listen, I can't be a part of this because this goes against my moral code or whatever. I love you and I support you and I will not rat you out. I will, whatever. I'm here for you, but don't make me a part of this either. She probably should have done that, and she absolutely could have done that. But bottom line is, though, her loyalty is to her family, not to Ryan. Sorry. I'm convinced they just want the fame and really don't care about teaching Gypsy right from wrong. Who's to say that what she's doing is right or wrong? Don't get me wrong. Okay, I don't agree with her having cheated on her husband and all that shit. Okay, that was wrong, I think. But short of that, who are we to say it was wrong for her to leave her marriage? Who are we to say it was wrong for her to decide to be with Ken? It's not our place. So, yeah. She has so much to learn in life and needs to get a real job and live life the real hard way. Okay. I think that would serve her well, just because she needs to learn the normal way to go about things in life. But make no mistake about it, I think Gypsy Rose has lived life the real hard way in ways that most of us will never be able to even imagine. That will never change. She's a train wreck and going to keep on this path. The fame needs to disappear and the free money. Okay, you can have that opinion, so stop watching her. Stop clicking on shit that has her name on it, therefore generating income. Stop wanting to know about her. Stop talking about her. Stop commenting on pages about her. Because that is exactly what is giving her the fame and the money. It's all of that. You don't like it, so then do something about it. Because she could just wake up tomorrow and decide, I want to live a life outside of the public and stay to herself. But if people are interested in her and want to know about her and are talking about her, she will never be able to have a private life. Ultimately, it's not her choice. It's yours. Yup, watching Christy and Mia fight was my endpoint. It was clear that Mia was the only one in the conversation with any moral compass. Seeing as you know her better than we all do, aside from what you've shared and is out in the world as it is, did you feel conflicted sharing things before they unraveled with the airing of the show? I really have felt conflicted this whole time. Really. Perhaps you should have shared that with your audience, though, so they could know this rather than lying to them and misleading them. There was also a huge push by the family to keep me close. What do you mean a huge push by the family to keep you close? Who was pushing to keep you close? The family? They were pushing themselves to keep you close, or they're pushing Gypsy to... What does that even mean? Like, okay, how were they pushing? How did you determine that to be the case? Because I'm thinking that that's either a serious miscalculation on your part or a flat out lie. I don't, whatever. But, because your media, they want to keep you involved, but at an arm's length, because they want you to repeat things that they want out there, but they want to make sure that you never learn or discover the things that they don't. So I don't think you were that you were kept close. No. You were probably, there's probably a big push to like keep you appeased, so you didn't do exactly what it is you're doing now. I still adore Christy. I don't agree with how she meddled in Gypsy's marriage. You see how you did that just there? You can do that often. You can sit there and say, listen, this person, I care about her, I think she's an amazing person. I don't agree with this thing she did, or her viewpoint on this, her stance on this, or whatever. But I'm not going to talk shit about her either. Sure, I disagree with that, but I'm not going to talk shit about her. See how it's not hard. I would say my feelings about everything are similar to Mia. I've never hidden my feelings to the family. Well, perhaps you should reveal them to your audience, though, as well, because that's who you did hide them from. And frankly, most of them don't approve of Gypsy's actions. Oh my God, so they're like every other family in the world, where there's someone who most of the people in the family don't agree with most of their actions, like the black sheep or whatever. I mean, there's only a phrase for this situation, right? There's so much that would have come out, I feel, in the trial had they not jumped the gun and given her a plea deal. She is a manipulative person. I've been wondering how so many that watch the prison episodes are, as well as after release, don't see it. I always appreciate your work, KJ. I rewatched her first season of the show. I realized so many of her stories about the unaliving were different. I hope we find out exactly what it is they did to piss Katie off, because Katie's pulling out the big guns here. She must be big mad. I'm glad the wool is off your eyes now. She's a master manipulator, or thinks she is, which, if she only thinks she is, then she's not a master manipulator, because nobody else thinks she is. She's the only one who thinks she is. Other people see through it. But if she truly is a master manipulator, then it doesn't matter what she thinks, because everyone else thinks she is. I digress. I stayed loyal because of Chris. Imagine if WikiLeaks stayed loyal to governments, particularly the U.S. government, rather than just put the facts out there. Imagine if reporters reported based on their sense of loyalty toward a subject, rather than based on the expectations of their readers. Imagine how fucked up of a world that would be. Loyalty will always excuse and believe lies, because you're not after the truth. You're after the relationship. It's not your job to be loyal. It is your job to have no sense of loyalty to anyone, but only to the facts. I can't do this anymore. I'm not taking heat for her behavior anymore. You never should have taken heat for her behavior. You never should put yourself in a position to where you had to defend things and tell everyone else and block people you blocked your own viewers and followers from your platform for them pointing out the things that you could not see or you refused to see. And you are now saying, now I see these things, or now I can admit to seeing these things. I wonder, are you going to unblock those people and apologize to them? Because you are expecting and demanding some sort of big gestures or whatever on those who have wronged you here in the situation, but yet you are going to take no ownership for the wrongs you've committed. There's no defending her behavior. She can make mistakes, but intentionally hurting people is wrong. See, other reporters, they will see their subjects intentionally hurt people, and they will not feel the need or the desire to make this big standing spectacle and to point out their flaws and to drag them for it. Because that's not what a reporter's job is. Nor is it your job to be loyal. Wait, weren't you only defending Gypsy not long ago and absolutely annihilating Ryan and labeling him a liar? I'm so confused. Oh, Ryan isn't perfect at all. But you didn't just simply say he wasn't perfect. You said that he was abusive. He was controlling. That there was some reason, this horrible event or action of his that caused her to leave. You supported her obtaining a restraining order against the dude. That's not just simply saying he's not perfect. This is what I was saying last time. You post defending her. You can't trust that girl. She's very manipulative. My loyalty to Christy is what made me want to just be understanding and hopeful. Did you tell that though to your viewers? Did you sit there and say, listen, I understand what you're saying and you might not be wrong, but I'm going to choose to be understanding and hopeful here. We'll just have to agree to disagree. No, you didn't. You braided people, you blocked people, you insulted people, you accused them for being bots or whatever for Shin or God knows who else. And then you said, this is true because this is what they told me. I know. Like you were a higher authority on this subject when really you were a much lower authority because you couldn't see past your bias. I'm a supporter of you, and I still am. You can't sway your judgment based off a friendship, especially knowing Gypsy's history. They gaslight people when the truth is right in front of our face. I'm well aware. So you knew this, but you ignored it. Okay. I told the family last week that I think Gypsy has a personality disorder. Okay. She hasn't been seen by a neuropsych. Okay, I'm not getting you. You don't have any access to her medical records. You don't know any of that. And you are very, very naive and ignorant on such issues and such things. So you speaking about this publicly on a large platform is irresponsible. I honestly think she is a sociopath. Who are you to think anything, though? I mean, you thought that you could trust her. You thought all kinds of things that you were wrong about regarding Gypsy and the family. Why would you be right about this? You wouldn't. You're not. Dr. Mark Feldman, the expert in Munchausen by proxy, gave an interview in 2017 and stated Gypsy would almost have to be a sociopath being raised by her mom. Her behavior in prison and all the interviews she gave were an indication that she was a manipulator. I just found the article last week. So you being the investigative journalist you are, you just found this 7-year-old article last week. You see, that's the thing. Perhaps if you weren't being led by your loyalty and being led by, I don't know, your responsibility of a reporter or self-titled investigative journalist, you would have been able to see past your own bias or not even have the bias. And you would have found this much sooner. And you would have been able to take in that information and assess your opinion from there. This is exactly why you need to be able to suss out bullshit to be any kind of reporter. And the fact that you are instead using this platform as some sort of leverage to get relationships with these people that you are entrusted to reveal the truth on is predatory. Hey, in the last post, Gypsy Rose Blanchard married Ryan Anderson to avoid being paroled to her parents' house, according to Chrissy Blanchard. Why would her stepmother put that out there? Like, that's not flattering. Gypsy wanted to live independently, but due to parole conditions, she had to parole to family. Her conditions would not allow her to parole to a boyfriend. In order to parole to Ryan's house, she had to marry him. Gypsy married Ryan for housing. See, I'm guessing that it was more like parole was demanding that she paroled to a place where she would have a place to live and food and everything. She wasn't going to be expected to provide her own income and take care of her own living expenses right off the bat. I'm guessing that's why. And because like if she wanted to be on her own, well, being married is the definition of not being on your own. So that reason or excuse seems like bullshit. Not exactly. She was not wanting to disrupt her family and felt they really wouldn't want her to move in. Her not talking to them about it was immature. Granted, she was naive and in a hurry. It was definitely wrong to marry Ryan, and I wish her dad would have told her his true feelings about it before she made that mistake. Then this person says, "Why are you laughing? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just repeating what was said on the show. Why laugh?" Katie says, "Because I know the truth. I know directly from Christy's mouth. It wasn't about disrupting her parents. She didn't want to live with them. She wanted to be on her own. She only could do that if she married someone, except her being married is literally the definition of not being on her own. So that's a bunch of bullshit right there." So you heard it directly from Christy's mouth, much like you've heard everything else directly from Christy's mouth? Okay. Yeah, you keep running with that. She doesn't like her parents. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what has happened. Katie says, "They were basically strangers to her. Gypsy hadn't seen them in 14 years before her crime. But in all the years while in prison for her crime, they visited her. She established a relationship with them. They seemed very involved in her life, and she was very open to them being there. This makes me so sad. I really had hope for her upon release. So she didn't live up to your hope that you had for her. She didn't owe that to you. I mean, okay. It makes me question her part in the murder of her mother. I think there's definitely more. So because she let you down, she didn't live up to your hope and your expectations you put on this stranger that you never met before. You now want to put out there publicly that you think she's capable of actually being the one to put the knife in her mother's back, because she already admitted involvement with everything else. And then Katie says same to that. So because Katie put her unrealistic expectations on this person she didn't know, and this person who owed her nothing, didn't agree to any of this, ended up not living up to Katie's expectations. Now Katie's going to use her platform to smear her and say that she has more to do with this horrible crime. So basically, Gypsy Rose Blanchard went from her mother preying on her all throughout her life to now Katie gets to prey on her. Okay. I'm confused. Wasn't Katie just defending Gypsy within the last week or two, and now all of a sudden saying Gypsy lied about everything? Without a crystal ball, did you find out new info or something? New info. Okay, so here's the thing. Gypsy Rose is free to do what she wants. She has every right to have a kid if she wants. She has every right to be with whoever she wants, so long as they want to be with her back. None of us have any right to say otherwise. We can give our opinions or whatever, and we're going to, because she's in the public eye. So we're all going to have our opinions. But she doesn't owe anyone anything, least of all Katie. So if we are expecting anything from her, then the fault is on us, not on Gypsy Rose. And the fault is on Katie for expecting more out of Gypsy or Christy or whoever, because Katie put herself in a position of power over their lives. And she used that position to garner some sort of sense of loyalty from them, and therefore friendship. And when she didn't get these things, I'm guessing she realized she wasn't getting these things. She's now using this threat, this power that she's had over their lives against them. I mean, if she really were just a reporter, she would have no interest in destroying them. She would just report facts as she learned them. But instead, we're going to see her twist things. We're going to see her manufacture things. We're going to see her push narratives without any bit of verification behind them, simply because she finds them to be damaging against the person she's pissed off at. She's using her platform. It's bothered me for a while now. Why I find it so troubling what I see Katie doing with her platform. And this is why. Or this, I think I've had a hard time really pinpointing what it is I find to be so annoying with what Katie does on her platform. And the thing is that she uses it as leverage. And she's using it for friendship. She's using it she's using it to pressure people to be a part of her life and to give her a sense of loyalty and to have her back. And you can look at that and think it's sad and everything, and it really is, but it's also predatory, because the people she's talking about, the people she's covering, are people who are going through something, usually something traumatic, whether it's leaving a cult or an abusive relationship with someone in some way, or it's Gypsy Rose having been abused by her mother her entire life, just about. These are the people she is seeking to have this closeness, this bond with, and she's using this platform to try to get it from them. And if she doesn't, she then uses this platform against them. We're going to watch this play out, sadly, in my opinion, again, with Gypsy Rose. And the thing is that what's going to be overlooked is that because a lot of people deem Gypsy worthy or deserving of shit treatment, people are going to not see how fucked up it is what Katie's going to do here. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm not saying that Gypsy is deserving. I don't know. I don't really care. But if you yourself think she is, two things can still be true at the same time. Don't let your bias mislead you like it does Katie. Thanks for watching. Hi, now it's time for member shoutouts. I'd like to thank
Kentucky Girl, April Penrod, Miss L85, Tiffany Hoff, Renelle Smith, Sassy Nas, Elizabeth Broadner, DC, Veta Jade, Tex Mex Tex Thunderclap, Fayette, Edward Catbush, Sarah Godfrey, Maps Cat, Cheryl, Mr. Black Wolf, Hank Texas, Rhonda Smith, Estella Havisham, Lazy Wolf, Queen Donnie, Tequila Alive and Me, Rena Rue, Linda Ree's channel has been deleted, Indigo Halo, Nana Hockley, Sean Coffey, Cheryl Tobiason, Crafty Florida Lady, Sakara Bear, Sassy Elmo, Flying Mom Laura, Berber, Berillion, Purple Dragon Shell, I'm fucking Reagan, Osval, Sunny D, Ginger Red, and Pool Rific.
Thank you very much for joining, and thank you everyone for watching.